All right, let's dive into a question that, let's be honest, a lot of us have thought about. Can plants actually do anything to stop hair loss? Today, we're going to put some of the most popular natural remedies under the microscope and see what the science really says. So, here's the big question, right? Can these ancient herbs and common oils, the stuff you hear about online, really go head to head with pharmaceutical drugs when it comes to actually regrowing hair? That's what we're going to find out. But before we can even talk about solutions, we've got to understand the problem. What is actually going on up there on our scalps? To figure out if plants can help, first we need to get into the nitty-gritty of why hair loss happens in the first place. Okay, first things first, the science of hair loss. We need to meet the main culprit here, the biological villain behind the most common kind of hair thinning, what I like to call the follicle shrinker. So the official name for this is androgenetic alopecia, or AGA for short. And that name pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Androgen means it's about hormones, and genetic, well, that means you can often thank your parents for it. And yeah, it affects both men and women. Okay, so this is the core of it all. It's a simple three-step process. Your body has testosterone, right? Then, this little enzyme, 5-alpha reductase, comes along and converts that testosterone into something way more potent, DHT. And that is the key. DHT is the bad guy here. It's what literally shrinks your hair follicles over time. If you get this, you get the whole game, because pretty much every treatment is trying to mess with this exact process. Okay, so now that we've got the science down, let's put it to work. We're going to start with our first contender from the plant world, bringrush. This is an herb with a huge history in traditional medicine, but now science is starting to take a closer look. And when I say a long history, I mean it. In Ayurveda, that's the traditional Indian system of medicine, bringrush is basically the go-to for hair. As Healthline points out, for centuries, it's been the thing people used for everything from making hair grow to stopping dandruff. So tradition says one thing, but you know what we're here for. What does the actual modern science have to say about it? So let's break down what the science has found so far. We've got animal studies on rats, mind you, that found an extract could basically wake up sleeping hair follicles. Then there's a lab study from 2023 that suggests it might work a lot like finasteride, by blocking that 5-alpha reductase enzyme we just talked about. But, and this is a huge but, these are just early signs. Promising? Yes. Proven in humans? Absolutely not. We're just not there yet. All right, moving on. Our next set of plants seem to work in a totally different way. They're not about blocking hormones. They're more about, stimulating the scalp. Let's talk peppermint and caffeine. And we have to start with peppermint because there was this one study back in 2014, again on mice, that had a result so surprising it made everyone in the research community sit up and pay attention. And this chart right here shows you exactly why people were so shocked. Look at this. After just 4 weeks, the mice getting peppermint oil had, get this, 92% hair regrowth. 92. Now compare that to minoxidil, Rogaine, which was at 55%. I mean, in this one animal study, it wasn't even close. So of course the scientists wanted to know why. They looked at the skin tissue itself. And what they found, as you can see here, was just incredible. The peppermint group had thicker skin, more hair follicles, and deeper follicles. All the signs you want to see for healthy hair growth. And check this out. They saw a remarkable jump in a growth factor called IGF-1, even more than what they saw with minoxidil. Okay, so what about caffeine? Well, its potential seems to come from a different angle. In lab studies, we're talking about actual human hair follicles grown in a petri dish here. Caffeine seemed to fight back against the bad effects of testosterone. It's like it helped the follicles just ignore that signal telling them to shrink. Okay, for our last stop, we're going back to our old friend, that 5-alpha reductase enzyme. But this time, the lab isn't made of beakers and test tubes. It's all happening inside a supercomputer. So what does that even mean, a virtual study? Well, think of it like this. Scientists built a super detailed digital model of the enzyme. Then, they basically threw hundreds of natural compounds at it, virtually, to see which ones would stick. It's a high-tech way of finding the perfect key for a lock, and it helps them figure out which chemicals are worth testing for real. And this is where it gets really interesting. The computer spit out a binding energy score. Basically, a more negative number means a better fit. And would you look at that? 2 natural flavonoids, eriocitrin and silymarin, actually had a better predicted score than the prescription drug finasteride. Now, again, this is a computer simulation, not a human trial. But it's a huge neon sign for scientists pointing them directly at what to study next. So, where does all this leave us? We've looked at ancient herbs, mouse studies, and even computer simulations. It's time for the verdict. And honestly, it's a mix of real promise, a lot of potential, and a good bit of patience. So let's just quickly run through the big takeaways. First, the science really boils down to DHT and that enzyme. Second, traditional stuff like Bringraj looks promising in the lab, but we need human trials. Third, that peppermint oil study in mice was pretty wild, even outperforming minoxidil in that one test. And fourth, these new virtual studies are flagging some really cool natural compounds that might block DHT. But, and this is the most important thing to remember from all of this, what happens in a mouse or a petri dish is not a guarantee for what will happen with you or me. And really, that's what's so exciting about all of this. What we're witnessing is science finally catching up and testing the wisdom that's been around for centuries. It really makes you wonder, right? As our tools get even better at decoding what's inside these plants, what amazing discoveries for hair health are waiting just over the horizon?